Iburu, Iboya, Ibuche, everybody in Cyberland. It's your favorite Babalao. At least I hope so. Omodun, Odileke coming at you with another video based off of the Help Me, Help You series. If you haven't seen it, go take a look at the video. You'll know what I'm talking about. But before I begin, I want to say thank you for tuning in. I want to ask you to please subscribe. I want to ask you to like it, share it, if it means that much to you and you want to expand the knowledge base of our community. All right, enough of that. Let's dive right in. Today, we're going to talk about a sign that's called Ika She. Okay? Ika She with Omo Shango. What does that mean? Well, Ika She is a sign that you'll hear a lot of Babalaos reference. Alright? Because this is the sign that indicates that the word of Orula will never fall. Okay. What does that mean? That means that this sign challenges the person that holds this Odum. So if you're a Mano de Orula, or you're a Babalao and you have this sign, right, Ika She, then ultimately you have some faith issues. Because sometimes you struggle with the ability of understanding that Orumala's word will never fall. There might be times where you even turn your back or you even doubt the abilities of the Orisha. And Ika She, if it's not you, then it's other people who doubt your religious beliefs, which causes you problems, which causes you heartaches. Ika She has that struggle. That's what Ika She talks about. It talks about if you can combat the non-believer in you and remember to maintain your faith, then you are going to be gold. Because it was through sacrifice, that Ika She was able to do and be the best that Ika She can be. Not to mention your Omo Shango, which what does that mean? That means that you were already destined to be a king. You will already walk this earth with a mighty force and energy of the thunder and just the knowledge, okay, and the ability to socialize. Everything that comes with a person of Chango. So he got you. Advice number one: have faith. Always have faith, and don't let anybody tell you otherwise about your faith, because one of those two are going to be off balance in Ika She. Okay, that's one thing. The second thing about Ika She, you have to be very, very, very careful about your faith interfering with the physical plane. The spiritual plane and the physical plane have to be able to work in concert. All right, we are human beings. We were created. We were given the breath of life. We were sent down to earth, right? In order for us to fulfill our destinies, but we are still flesh and bones and blood, all right? So do not let the material aspects of this life, don't get into moral and ethical discussions and disputes. Let people do what people do. You worry about you and strengthening yourself, because that is the key of Ika She, worrying about you. Because here's the other thing. Ika She's ability to sacrifice so much will one day leave you almost dead. You sacrifice enough, Ika She. I promise you that. I can almost bet that a lot of the Ika She's out there, if they haven't, I warn you now, don't do it. Sacrifice so much and they are not appreciated. Do so much for people and then they turn their back on you or you do so much for people and they don't ever remember it or consider it. Please be careful about doing those type of favors, because you're sacrificing yourself for the greater good, but at the end of the day, what is that truly doing for you? You gotta have that balance. Ika She, please take those words into advice. In Ika She, it talks about the mantega coro, the palm oil, right? It talks about cotton, right? And it talks about the war that they had with each other. And the cotton won. All right? That is a different story. But in that story, what does that tell you? That white is your friend. Wear more white. Be more positive. Receive the rays of light. And when you're feeling down, I'm going to give you a secret to your sign. When you're feeling down, I want you to get some goat milk. Okay? Take some goat milk. I want you to put some cocoa butter, right? You're going to get a stick of cocoa butter. You're going to shred it down, put it aside. You're going to take some cacarilla, which is efum, right? Which is eggshells that are toasted and compact into a powder, into these little cups you could buy in a botanica many times, or you can make it yourself. But anyway, you take that powder, you put it in there. Goat milk, cocoa butter, and efum, cacarilla, and you put it in all together, and you put it under the sun at 12 noon while the sun is nice and high, and you let it sit there for a second while you pray. You pray, and you give thanks. All right? And you're going to take that same mixture, and you're going to go into the bathroom, and you're going to wash your face. Get your temple, your forehead, the back of your neck, and get it real good, right? That is a great obra for this sign. So with that said, please take advantage of those things. Because the other big thing about this sign is the ability for you to think clear. Right? Because you have the non-believer aspects of this sign, and because that allows you to sometimes stray away or be in battle with those who don't believe in you and your religious beliefs, sometimes, and this is going to be one of the few times where I tell you, sometimes you're going to have to move from where you're at, because where you're living is not working out for you. The environment you're in is not good for you. So it's okay to pick up and go every now and then if you have to. Maybe that's what you are. You're the wanderer. But you move until you find a place that's right for you. Don't settle for things that you don't need to settle for. And that goes for everything, both physical, spiritual, it doesn't matter. Ika She speaks of that. Why? Because while man was developing their fingers and their toes, right? Because in this sign is the development of the fingers and the toes for man. We begin to understand the ability of being able to hold things and walk properly and run. And that's what you're doing. No different than the old concept that we're going to crawl, walk, and then we're going to run. Ika She, have faith. Have faith in yourself. Have faith in Orula, because Orula's word will never fall. And you're going to see great things. Have faith that I told you about the cotton and that little bit of obra that you can do to kind of help yourself. Give yourself some tranquility and peace. Give thanks to Mafarafun Matala, Mafarafun Orofi, Mafarafun Orula. He's going to be your savior. I promise you that. But I guess for the most part, I'm thinking, and I want to make one thing clear. In Ifa, in Ika She, there is one other thing I'm concerned about. I want you to be careful with your respiratory, okay? Your respiratory is something huge. In Ika She, they try to steal your voice, right? They try to steal your voice. Not only do they try to make you a non-believer, they give you a hard time, but they talk down to you, but they try to take your voice. Stick up for yourself. look out for like respiratory issues like bronchitis or asthma. Be very careful with those things and take care of yourself. But with that said, I can talk all day, and I apologize. I know I start moving and I start doing my thing, but Ika She has a lot of things that we just gotta think about as human beings. We gotta think about, I told you, like the development of the toes and Ura's words. I'll leave you with a pataki because I don't think I give you guys a pataki. The pataki I want to leave you with is the one where the world was split in two and mankind was fighting, it was destroying everything. And it was the sacrifice of Ochun, because Ochun knew that the fight needed to stop. That Ochun, right, and this is kind of an explicit one, Ochun, with her femininity and her beauty, she strips down and she walks between the war, and all these people start to look at her and fall in love, and they all begin to follow her. But to what extent? That is the problem. To what extent? Because they follow her all the way until she can't walk no more. Until her feet are no longer able to take her where she needs to go. And now these people are going to just only begin to fight again. That is a pataki that I want you to remember. That is a pataki that I want you to understand. That you cannot sacrifice yourself for everybody. You believe in yourself first. Allow that atmosphere and that environment to grow and flourish, and then take care of yourself. Dress more white and remember Orula. And with that said, Iburu, Iboya, Bucheche, you're Omo Shango, you're a king, and you'll be able to conquer it all. If anybody could conquer Ika She, it's going to be you. Especially with the guardian Orisha Shango. He will lead the way. The only thing better out of here is the other king, which is the father of the Ocha, which is Obadala. So with that said, you're blessed. And remember that always. Iburu, Iboya, Bucheche, Cyberland. I know I can keep going and I don't stop. But I want to thank you all for tuning in. And thank you very much. We're almost there. We're almost at the 1,000 mark. And this is me playing catch up with the Help Me Help You. So appreciate you guys all. Hey, Iburu, Iboya, Bucheche.